They thought they had her trapped. The alley narrowed behind her, concrete walls sweating heat, boots closing in from both ends. Rifles lifted, voices sharpened. Someone laughed, short, confident, cruel. She stood still in the center of it all, hands open, heart pounding, knowing that if she made the wrong move, this would end badly, very badly. She didn't look dangerous. That was their first mistake. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who is listening. Her name was Mara Klein, and until this moment, she had survived by being forgettable. A logistics contractor. A woman with dust on her boots and worry lines she hadn't earned yet. She had learned long ago that invisibility could be armor, but armor cracks when you're cornered. The men surrounding her wore mismatched gear, local militia mixed with hired muscle. They smelled blood in the water. One stepped closer, tapping his rifle against his palm. "Drop the bag," he said, calm, certain. Inside the bag were coordinates that could change everything, or destroy it. Mara's mind raced not with panic, but with geometry, distance, angles, timing, the habits of men who thought they were in control. She remembered her instructor's voice from another life. If they think you're scared, you're already dead. If they think you're harmless, you might live. She lowered the bag. Dust drifted in a beam of sunlight between the buildings. Somewhere, a generator coughed and went silent. The alley held its breath. She took one step back, then another. The men tightened the circle. She thought she'd never see daylight again. She was wrong. Mara shifted her weight just slightly. It's not enough to look intentional. It's enough to move her center of gravity. Her eyes flicked to the fire escape above, then away, a lie wrapped in a glance. One of the men followed her eyes. Just for a second, that second was everything. She dropped flat, rolling into the shadow as the bag left her hand not thrown, but slid, spinning toward the loudest voice. The men reacted like a bad echo. Late, disorganized, shots cracked the air, shattering brick where her head had been. Then the alley erupted. Flashbangs bloomed like white suns. Sound vanished, replaced by pressure. Shapes moved with terrifying coordination, dark figures flowing in from rooftops, windows, places the men hadn't thought to watch. Rifles spoke in controlled bursts. Commands cut through the chaos, sharp and precise. Navy SEAL tactics, clean, relentless, beautiful in their brutality. Mara pressed herself against the wall, hands over her head, counting breaths the way she'd been taught. She felt the vibration of boots passing inches from her face. She smelled cordite. She heard someone scream, then stop, and then silence. A figure knelt in front of her, weapon lowered, but ready. His eyes searched her face, not for fear, but for confirmation. "You good?" he asked. She nodded, hands trembling now that it was safe to do so. Later, as the survivors were zip-tied and led away, one of the younger SEALs stared at her like she'd just stepped out of a ghost story. "You baited them," he said, not accusing, amazed. Mara didn't answer right away. She looked down the alley, at the marks on the wall where she should have been standing. "They made a choice," she said quietly. "I just let them." That night, as helicopters lifted off and the city exhaled, she sat alone on the curb, the bag finally out of her hands. She thought about how close she'd come to disappearing, how many times she'd been underestimated, how many times that had saved her and how many times it almost hadn't. Courage, she realized, isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. Sometimes it looks like stillness. Sometimes it looks like a woman in an alley, trusting training no one believes she has. Because strength doesn't always charge forward. Sometimes it waits, watches, and strikes exactly when it must. And the same quiet confidence that held her steady when they cornered her was the very thing that carried her back into the light. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments. And subscribe for more true inspired mission stories told with heart and respect here on Whispered Words. Because some battles are won not by force, but by knowing exactly who you are when the world doubts you.